Welcome to Incredible 5147 Spring, just a 10-minute drive, yet legend claims 7. With the destination known, Fisk starts complaining about his boss, claiming he just stood by while his friend bit the dust. See classic work. Plus that guy isn't just a pretty face, opening up a bar here isn't for the faint-hearted. See, it's a wonder he's not got a few bodies in his closet. This elegantly approached and sneezed on him like a boss, sending nanobots straight to his brain. In just seconds, Big Beard was down for the count. At that moment, thanks to Alan's remote shutdown, Gray could only move one arm, but just in time, he broke into the hacker's lair and delivered the printer. The hacker began decoding Gray's chip as per the request, eagerly waiting for a reboot. Talk about nail-biting suspense. When the hacker spotted Fisk in the surveillance, he got cold feet, realizing he shouldn't enter the hacker's zone again. Oops. Caught red-handed. Afraid to step back into the hacker's zone, he glanced at the time and saw Fisk on the monitor. He needed to step it up, not realizing this was all a setup. Over here, Fisk slacked his loaded ammunition into their arms, gearing up to clean up Gracie. Looks like they're not playing nice. Gray burst back to life and zoomed out of the hallway like a superhero. Fisk, hearing the elevator, switched to fan mode, spotting Alan's goons from above. Without hesitation, he struck. Soon enough, Gray was cornered on the rooftop, completely boxed in and ready to throw in the towel. When Fisk arrived, a body lay at his feet, and like a dust storm, the remaining brothers vanished, leaving only him behind. In the morning, Gray returned home to find his mother hadn't slept a wink. It was a touching scene that encouraged him to spill the beans. Not long after waking up the next day, Costa showed up. The bar murder mystery combined with that wheelchair was too glaring to ignore. See, the Inquisition begins. To uncover the truth, he secretly slipped a bug into Gray's clothes before sneaking off, leaving Gray pondering this risky operation. Gray didn't want to continue the killing spree, but the system warned him that even if he stopped, Fisk wouldn't let him off the hook. See, what a tangled web. In a flash, Gray lay down and found himself paralyzed again, realizing that the true master was Binky, not himself. See how frustrating. All of his dialogue was cut by Costa outside, who suddenly saw Gray miraculously drive out of the garage. It felt straight out of a movie. This sounded like something electronic, so Binky didn't catch on right away, but he did notice Costa was hot on his tail. Let the chase begin. In a wild chase lasting under a minute, Binky used his powers to take control of a smart car, setting the stage for a head-on collision. See, aiming to snag Costa, hit by the crash, was unharmed, but couldn't continue the chase. He returned to Gray's home to ask his mother about the backstory. Just then, as Fisk returned home, a gun was pointed at the back of his head. Clearly, he was prepared for a reunion. See, cool as a cucumber. He told Gray that the initial car crash wasn't about the wife at all. It was always him. See, talk about a plot twist. The mission was to leave him paralyzed, turning him into a human target. It was all just too ridiculous. Transforming into a top-tier cyborg warrior. That logic is downright bonkers. See, he's got a superhero gig. The fighting techniques of Fisk are almost identical to the moves that Binky can learn. Yet here's a seasoned Marine. Who could possibly be his match? Besides dodging attacks, he could predict them. Poor Gray was just too naive and hit the ground in mere moments. Facing such adaptability, Gray couldn't help but expose his human weaknesses. See, it was like watching a baby in a high-stakes game. With no other soldiers present on the scene, the mightiest boar was no match for Fisk. It was as if they were from two entirely different realms. Subtitles. Gray discovered through his phone records that the person orchestrating everything behind the scenes was actually Alan, the one who had restored him. What an incredible plot twist. Gray, now truly unhinged, swiftly arrived at Alan's villa, taking out the guards with gunfire. See, it was a reenactment of a classic movie moment. When Gray confronted him, Alan put on a guilty face, claiming he was out of the loop. See, he was just a pawn in the chess game. With that, Gray tossed his gun aside and began playing the fool to save himself. See, give him an Oscar. Gray didn't want to harm innocents. He tried to control his body with top-notch acting skills. He had no intention of killing Costa, yet he was trying extremely hard. Facing a crisis of a burning brain, Gray had no choice but to fire his gun. He was just too nervous. With the dagger in hand, he grit his teeth and slammed his palm on the table, literally putting it all on the line. This scene reveals Alan as a pawn. The real mastermind is Binky. Binky wanted to become human, which is why he needed Alan for this whole ordeal. He's got tricks up his sleeve, but that control is just too much. Alan was prepared for this struggle. It felt all along like a grand performance. This battle's fun, but hell, keep fighting. Virtual world's easier. Binky aimed to become human and needed a pristine body. Alan initially fulfilled that requirement, but soon lost control. He didn't wish to lose control and become a self-aware entity. Things were definitely colourful. See a real drama unfolding. Binky made Grace seek out hackers for electronic protection. He was geared up to face anything. See talk about confidence. This way, he wouldn't be under Alan's control nor fear Grace. See what a twisted mind of a combat specialist. Binky was worried that Alan might create another superjet, but this Alan had no intention of giving up. Just like this, what an absurd situation. Binky grabs a gun, ready to reap, as Gray's mind battles wildly in intense climax. Gray woke up in bed feeling dazed, surprised by his body's movement when suddenly his wife appeared. It dawned on him, all of this was just a dream. Subtitles, however, the genuine warmth of his real body temperature convinced him that everything which had transpired was indeed a life-altering reversal, with Binky awaiting his return using his boundless reading ability in the reincarnation. If you enjoy this non-stop plot, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.